Okay, start recording the audio. We're testing. We're
yeah,
good.
it looks
Okay,
fine.
Cool. Are you ready?
I might be a tad loud, but that's okay.
Why are you loud?
It's just because I'm a loud person.
No, you're not. The opposite of a loud.
Volume-wise, I can be loud.
Can you? Okay.
Yes.
Can you scooch that way a little bit? Not that I don't want you close to me.
Wow.
Maybe this arm needs to...
You just don't love me anymore. You waited until you got married, and then you said, I don't love you.
That's exactly what it is.
Yes, obviously.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I'm looking at the frame. I'm making sure we're okay.
There we go. I think there's plenty of room now
I think
for
that's
the
perfect.
cards.
Okay, cool.
Are we leaving all of this in?
Yep. Well, some of it.
We're recording.
Yeah, we are recording. Cool. I'll have to check like 50 times. Okay, cool. All right. Hold on, we are recording, right? This is me.
Yes,
we're
recording. You
I
checked
checked
twice
that we're
now.
recording like a times. Okay. Hey, what's going on, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy.
And Paul.
My husband.
Yes.
We are married.
Finally.
Finally. It took
an extra
long
year.
time. Yeah, but here we are. So this is actually the first video that I've done with you in a while, it feels like. The last one we did was a deck tech, right?
Probably 3 months or so.
Yeah, it's been a minute. So, yeah, but we wanted to chat about Modern Horizons 2 because I'm fairly certain that all the spoilers are done. Normally, I check Mythic Spoiler, which is, we'll list in the down below, it's the best in my personal opinion in terms of spoilers. I think it's the most cohesive, and I like the layout of it. Not sponsored, that'd be cool, but I don't even do sponsorships. I don't know. I just feel like I have to say that because, like, I think someone's like, you're randomly sponsored by, like, this dice company or whatever. It's like, no, I'm not. I'm not that cool, but
you are, but okay.
No, thanks. But it's the most cohesive, and so I'll listen to down below. But normally it says like full spoilers, like below, but it didn't this time.
We might be missing some commons and uncommons,
so, maybe,
but it's all the important stuff. I think has been spoiled at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, want to do like general overviews? Like, what do you think of the set so far? We bought a box.
Yeah, I bought a box for us. I bought the set booster box, so not the draft, not the collector booster. I'm not spending $500 on a box.
Yeah, that's crazy.
For 8 packs or whatever silly
low
number that
insane.
it is. And then the set boosters have some of the limited stuff that the draft doesn't, and I figured that'd be better for us anyways.
Yeah, so we got that. It's like the normal. It's got 36.
I think it might be 32 or 30,
like
but I don't remember. Either way, it's not the draft box, it's the set box.
Do you remember how much you paid for it? You bought it
whatever
online,
the
right?
standard Emissary.
It was like 200 something.
Maybe after tax.
200 something.
It was slightly less than the draft box by like $6 or something like that.
Okay, but the draft one has significantly less boosters.
No, the draft box has a couple more boosters, but it doesn't come with some of the limited edition prints.
Oh, okay.
Like it does. The draft box doesn't have cards from the list and stuff like that.
There's so many different products of things that I don't know. Maybe I should do a video on that the next one it comes out and just overview them because I genuinely need to find out for myself because I actually don't know. And I think it'd be a helpful video. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. I'll probably do it anyway regardless of what you say, but you know. Sorry, that came off as really insightful. I'll do it regardless. I don't care what you say. That's not what I meant to feel like. Okay. Oh, you're going to hop into the cards. We're going to do this in color order. Roy G. Biv order. No, we're not going to do Roy G. Biv order. Okay. I feel like I'm so silly whenever I film with you. It's great. I really wanted to chat about Soul Talisman because I really just want to hear what people are saying because there's people who actually really don't like this card and they say it's really bad.
It's a slower Soul Ring, but it's also another Soul Ring. So, I mean, it's still a 1 mana that gets you 2. It takes 3 turns. So,
yeah,
it's not as great, obviously, on turn 1 because you don't get it for 3 turns. But it's also, it's still only 1 mana. Like, I don't really think there's much of a downside.
I feel like people are giving so much flack to this card, and it's like, I can understand if you're like, it's not great, but people are like, hating this card. Mm-hmm. They're like, it is objectively awful. I'm like, I think we have really strong feelings about this card that we don't have to.
Objectively worse than a normal Soul Ring.
Yeah, totally. Nothing is better than a Soul Ring unless it's like a 0 mana for that gains you 2.
Or like a Black Lotus.
Yeah, but like, who owns those? So
or no
maybe you do. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's fine. I think like fine is like the best word that I can think.
I think for EDH it's perfectly playable.
Oh, we should have also said before we hopped into it, we don't care about this for Modern. We're only talking about this through an EDH lens, and we're only talking about cards we are interested in. So, like, for example, there's other cool stuff that's being printed, like Shard Agent.
Yes. And some of the planeswalkers are pretty cool.
Agents of Shard. What is that card called?
I don't know which card you're talking about anymore.
You knew what card I was talking about, then you didn't.
I thought I did, then you changed what you were saying. So
it's the Cascade one, that card. Shardless Agent.
The 3-mana Cascade?
It's okay. Shardless Agent. Yeah, like, that's a cool card to be reprinted. I don't personally care about it. You know what I mean? We're not talking about cards like that. We're talking about cards that we care about. You know? Cool. Next card you care about.
The Kaldra Compleat.
Kaldra Compleat.
Yes.
Eat. That's so funny. Come on.
I mean, it's indestructible living weapon. That's already cool, and it's Godsend on a colorless artifact.
It's like Godsend.
And +5. Well, it's literally all the Kaldra pieces in one.
It's Batterskull, the Kaldras, and Godsend. If they like had a child.
Yeah, this is like a really good equipment.
It's a lot of mana, but I think
it's also colorless.
It's also
you get
colorless.
That real fast.
It's colorless. Also, if you're playing this in colored, with like colored mana, there's the white creature that has Metalcraft, and your things cost 0, so that would be really good. Or Sigarda's Aid. No, Sigarda's Aid just gives them instant.
Well, when it comes into play, it auto equips for free.
Does it?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm sure. This is going to be one of those moments where I'm right. Whenever equipment enters the battlefield under control, you may touch target creature. Okay, I was wrong. I'm glad I didn't bet on it. Cool. It's a cool card. Scion of Draco.
So this is, in a 5-color deck like Joda or something. It costs 2 mana. And gives you all the keywords. Hexproof, Vigilance, Lifelink, First Strike, Trample. I mean, I would have rather had seen Double Strike instead of First Strike and maybe Death Touch.
Excuse me, you're paying like 2 mana for this creature.
It's a 12 mana 4/4, technically.
It's a 2 mana 4/4 with flying, and it gets each creature you control.
Well, yeah.
Gains Vigilance. Like, this is
If
dumb.
it's white.
If it's white. Yeah, I understand. This card's really cool for you.
So 5-color cards get lots of keywords. I still would have rather seen, like, flying or something. Instead of... Like, black with lifelink seems weird. That should have been Death Touch, I feel like.
That is really weird. I'm just noticing that. That is really strange. That was an interesting
All the other ones make sense. Black should have been...
it was a mistake.
It's not, but...
Maybe it was a mistake.
I mean, Wizards make mistakes all the time.
Yep. We're not going to talk about that. Okay, Monoskelion. This is Triskellion's younger brother or sister, whichever. So my thought behind this is there's the synergy with Triskelion and Mikaeus, aka Mikey, Black Mikaeus. And my thought is you could run this as well as Triskelion, because I believe, and please let me know if I'm looking at this combo wrong, but this would be an infinite combo with Mikaeus.
If Mikaeus puts a +1/+1 counter on it, yes.
Yeah.
No, but you would still need a way to...
make them die.
You'd still need to do... You could do 1 damage to something else and 1 damage to it. So, yeah, no, that would still work.
Yeah, also... Yeah, I think this card is cool. I'm excited for it.
Wait, let's look at the wording on Triskelion real quick.
Triskelion is enters the battlefield with 3 +1 counters. Remove it. It deals 1 damage to target creature. So this one you have to
pay 1, so you would need mana to do it. So it's not quite as
It's infinite. Like a little bit. It's a little bit different. Triskelion's also 6 mana. This is 2, so it's just like a little bit.
If you can generate infinite mana, it's an infinite combo. But if you have infinite mana, you're already at an infinite combo. So you just infinite harder.
We should have probably started with lands hindsight, but like enemy Fetchlands. I mean,
I'm so excited.
Come on, for Fetchlands. Such a great decision to put them in the set.
They're very much needed reprints too. They're way too expensive.
Absolutely, 100%. It's really smart that they did it. I think they just need to truthfully keep reprinting Fetchlands. Some people are over it. I'm definitely not. I would say out of like my Magic things I need. Like, enemy fetches are, like, on the top of the list of things that I need.
I just say fetches in general, but yeah.
Yeah, but we have, like, excesses of, like, at one point we had, like, 8 polluted deltas. Like, we don't need...
that's from back when we played Modern, and we needed playsets of them.
But it was, like, we had, like... 8 polluted deltas, then we just randomly had like a Scalding Tarn because I like had a Scalding Tarn
that
from Modern. I had a Scalding Tarn.
Also had Scalding
you
Tarns.
Also had Scalding Tarns, but I'm thinking about like my one Scalding Tarn that I had when it was like I have like all the other fetches that I have like a Scalding Tarn, like, you know, so I'm excited about these. One thing I'm also really excited about too is like, and I might have done a video on this, I might not have, on like variants and like how there's a lot of cards. So there's like the regular one, there's like the one with the old border, there's like the one in the collectors with that different border. So there's like a lot of things. I think there's a lot of opportunities to get them in like the art style you want. Yeah.
Well, I feel like if you want the old border or the other arts, they are still very limited quantities, unfortunately.
That's true. But I think just putting them in there, you know, I think is great. So, speaking of lands, Cabal Coffers.
Oh, yeah. And you want that extended art foil,
So excited.
which is unfortunately not going to be in the box that we're getting.
No, but
that's only in the collectors.
If we just get one, I'd be so happy, though. Because I can always just get the other one later, you know what I mean? Also, I think the Cabal, like, yeah, the extended border, though, is very stunning, I will say. But I'm so excited that this card is being reprinted. This card, like, needed a reprint.
Oh, absolutely.
This card's awesome. This card is so cool. There's really not, like, a lot to say. It's a great card. I'm really excited to see it here. Cool. Let's talk about... multicolored, which I love multicolored cards.
Oh, but, I mean, it's all I play, other than Karn.
Paul's like 5 color, no color, there's no in between. It was funny, so Mirar's Wake, so I asked Paul, I was like, do we need to talk about Mirar's Wake? Do we need more Mirar's Wake, like, foils? And I was like, yeah, we always need Mirar's Wake foils. I'm really excited to see this card being reprinted.
I mean, the extended art one looks so pretty. And again, this card is just, an EDH is absolutely very playable. If you're playing green-white or green-white in anything.
100% agree. This card is awesome. Needed. You're excited about Garth One-Eyed.
So this is fun. So put it in Joda and I can get myself a Black Lotus or something else. I mean, it's really just funny because you make a Black Lotus token. So I can say I played with a Black Lotus and...
We should get you a little, like, Black Lotus token.
Yes.
We'll get you, like, a little
I wonder, I don't think they've spoiled all the tokens yet, but I'm assuming they're going to make a token Black Lotus.
You should get one. You should get one from Jess from Inkling Customs. She's awesome. Jess is great.
I need to... Shivan Dragon, nobody really cares about it, but it's just funny that they're all super... well-known cards, although I don't remember what Brain Geyser does.
Did I tell you? So, side note, on our wedding, so each table that we had was like a different nerdy theme, and so we had a Magic the Gathering table at our wedding, because of course we did. And on our cake, we had the different nerdy references intertwined, and on top we had a Black Lotus. And today when I talked to my mom, I didn't tell you this, but she's like, what was that, like, flower on the top of your cake? And I was like, oh, it's like the Black Lotus. And she's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, it's like a magic thing. But I was like, even for people who didn't know, they'd still be like, that was a cool flower. So that's what we did. Yeah, cool. Cool. You wanted to also talk about Carth the Lion.
I mean, that last ability on its own, the Planeswalker's abilities get an additional +1. That's unbelievably broken.
Wait, it says Planeswalker loyalty abilities you activate cost an additional +1 to activate.
Which means, so if something costs 0, it now is a +1. If it was a -1, it's now a 0.
Oh,
yeah.
I understand. I misread that. Okay, that's cool.
Broken.
This is really stupid. This is going to be in all the Planeswalker, like, trample decks, you know?
And when it enters or a Planeswalker control dies, you look at the top 7 and you may reveal a Planeswalker and put it into your hand. So, they kill a Planeswalker, you probably get a Planeswalker back. So, you know, this just seems really, really dumb.
Can I tell you my one issue with this card? And it's super stupid, but I hate, like, 3/5. That, like, really bothers me.
Would you rather have been a 4/4?
Yeah. Does anyone else get bothered by that? It's like magic pet peeve. I hate it.
I think
bothers
it's fine.
me. Yeah, this is a really cool card. Both of us are actually really excited to talk about this. Sythis, Harvest's Hand. This card's really cool.
2 mana, and it effectively has Constellation that says you gain a life and draw a card.
It's also legendary. It's also by Ryan Yee, which I love. And you know what? I looked at this card and I said, maybe today's the day that I build an enchantment deck and make this the commander. Because there's so many good enchantment tribal cards, like, seriously. Yeah. And I don't have... I think this would be, like, a little bit of a different color combo for me. And I love these
Green White's
colors,
a fun one.
So,
and if you're doing that, I mean...
Yeah.
You'd really want blue. Blue has some really good enchantments, too.
It does, but I feel like I want another 2-color. I want to go in that route, you know what I mean? So...
But yeah, this will probably slot into my God's deck.
The last thing that I built was Riku, which is 3 colors. So I think the next project I do, I don't want it to be like another 3-color, you know what I mean? So this card's really cool. You want to put those in Gods, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Get it? I didn't do that on purpose. Sorry,
sure.
That was terrible. Cool. Profane Tutor.
I mean, it's a 2-mana tutor.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it takes 2 turns, but that's even better. It's like, I'm going to cast this now and see what I need in 2 turns.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's funny you say that because actually sometimes I find that in tutoring with Tasigur where I actually tutor and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to get. And like, you know, I feel like you try to do this all the time where like you try to guess like what I'm going to get and it's usually not what you expect.
Yeah.
Which is fun. Because I have to shock people. And it's also, like, you thought I got that.
A lot can happen in 2 rounds of the beginning of command. The board 100%. Can get wiped, and so it's like, oh, somebody's going to wipe, and now it's my turn to tutor. Well, I was going to go tutor for board. I don't need it now. And
so it could end up working out. Yeah. The only downside that I worry about with Suspend is someone can counter it when it enters.
Yeah.
So, like, you do have that little bit of security, which is why, personally, I'm not, like, very excited about this card. Like, I don't need to run out and grab them. I have other tutors that I personally prefer, but... if you open it and you're like, I want to jam this in something, like, I think it's cool.
That is the only downside to Suspend is they know it's coming, and so they can intentionally leave up and plan for the counter. Versus...
Or they could draw it in 2 turns and draw a counter spell. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but, you know, I just like to talk about angles with cards. I like to play devil's advocate. That's what I like to do. Greed. This card's really cool. It's a reprint. I'm excited to see this reprint because I feel like this card has not been printed in a minute. I can't think of the last time I've seen this card being reprinted.
I don't remember when this was printed.
This card's very similar to, always truthfully forget the name of it. Nope, it's not. What is that? Phyrexian Arena. I like both, personally. They're a little bit different. I think they're both good. 1 mana, you pay, if you draw a card, your life total is a resource, utilize it.
Yep.
I say that in so many of my videos. People are like, I don't want to, like, lose my life total. It's like, who cares? You have 40, that's basically $1 million. Doesn't matter.
When I played Suicide Shadow... in Modern.
Who cares?
It was like, oh, cool, I'm either going to kill myself by turn 3 or kill you.
That's what you do.
And it was fun. Love it. For a time.
I have to think about where I'd put this. Also, it's an uncommon. They knock this to an uncommon? Excuse me? That's awesome. That is so cool. The price is going to totally drop on this. That is so exciting. If you got this, what would you put it in?
Marin. Or Joda.
Marin, you should definitely get this from Marin. I'm hoping we open up like a couple of these. That'd be cool.
Because I need to draw cards in Joda.
Yeah, you know what? I could see both. We'll pick up a couple of these. I'll probably pick up some in foil as well. Now that it's knocked to an uncommon, I'm glad I've never bought this card up until this point. Okay, most excited color that I'm probably going to chat with you guys about is white. And actually, there another color that we'll get to in a second, which will shock many of you. Okay, so for white, I want to talk about Thraben Watcher because I think this card is really good for not a lot of mana. And I think one thing that's always been like a downfall to Angels has been they've cost so much mana. And my thing is, in Angels, frequently what happens to me is I'm at, like, 8 mana, and I'm, like, 6 mana for my Angel, and then I don't have anything to do with my 2 mana, or I have, like, open for, like, a Path, or, like, Swords to Plowshare, or something like that. And so, like, sometimes what happens is some mana gets underutilized because you have, like, awkwardly, like, 7 mana, and you're like, I can only do one thing. And I think the cool thing about Thraben Watcher is, like, it's cheaper mana-wise, and I think this card's really solid. It's 4 mana for a 2/2 Flying Vigilance. Other non-token creatures, which I don't have, like, many non-tokens, if any, in that deck, you control get +1/+1 and a Vigilance, and I think that deck has needed some earlier game stuff. And the cool part about this card is if it's 4 mana, and let's just say I have this that's 4 mana, and something else that's 4 mana, or 5 mana, well, now I have, for my 9 mana, I have a 5 mana Angel and a 4 mana Angel that I can cast on the same turn.
Yeah,
which is really good.
Let's just, make, what's her name? Who's the commander for Angel? Avacyn. more powerful.
I mean, just giving her that extra +1/+1. I mean, if you have other things that buff her, you can kill someone instead of 3 commander hits. You can kill them in 2, and like that's
not much.
That's, I mean, when you're at going from 8 to 9 damage, that's 9 + 9 is 18. You only need to get 3 more points somewhere. Yeah. And the vigilance, I would say, I love vigilance. I have actually a lot of ways of getting vigilance in the deck, so that part might not be as relevant as the +1/+1, but I think this card is incredibly strong. It's at common level.
Other angels +1/+1/2 is huge, anyways. Even not just Avacyn. I mean, you've got 10 angels on the field. That's an extra 10 damage.
But even 3 angels on the field. You know what I mean? I think this card's really solid. Also, in like a limited sense, I think it's really good. Also, and so on the very opposite end of mana and whatever, we got to talk about Serra's Emissary. This card is very, like, unique. I feel like I haven't really ever seen a card like this before. Not that I'm thinking of. No?
By card type is unusual. Normally it's by color or something. Or creature type. But card type is unusual. So it's protection from sorceries or instants is probably what you're going to choose.
Or just creatures and just bypass their creatures. And just, depending on the situation.
Yeah, if you're going up against a creature-heavy deck, you pick creatures. If you're going up against a deck, one with a lot of removal, instants or sorceries,
Niles Ham has had, truthfully, some stunning work in this art set. Yeah. So, MVP of this set, in my opinion, in terms of art. So, yeah, wow. Just, like... And he did both. He did both of the art. Mm-hmm. Like,
Didn't all of them do both arts?
Sometimes not always. Some people do only one, and others it just depends on the card, for as far as I know. But, yeah, this card kind of feels like Iona's, like, long-lost cousin, is what it reminds me of a little bit. Like, not, like, super related, but, like, we could be related. That's how it feels, Okay. Cool. Okay. Oh my gosh. This card.
Svyelun?
There you go. Sea and sky.
They need to put, like, pronunciations on these cards.
Thank you. Someone understands me. Okay. I feel like I have not seen a merfolk that I've been hyped about in, like, a minute. And I am hyped about this card. Also, Seb McKinnon, praise the Lord. Just every time Seb McKinnon comes out with an art, I don't even have to look at it. I'm like, that's a Seb McKinnon piece. Like, that's how you know, like, you've made it in the art world, when someone can just look and be like, that's you. You've made it. Seb McKinnon, my heart goes out to you. Sorry, my heart's really with you. Sorry, that sounded really insensitive. I've never even met Seb McKinnon before. How can I love him?
I mean, the art speaks for itself.
No, you're my one true love.
I know, I'm teasing.
Yeah, okay, good. Okay, it is indestructible as long as you control at least 2 other merfolk. Easy. When she attacks, you draw a card. Stupid. Other merfolk have ward. Whenever a merfolk becomes a target of spell or ability, that opponent pays 1. I feel like any of these, like, are great, and then the fact that it has all 3 is just awesome.
For 3 mana, too.
For 3 mana for a 3/4? They should have made this a 3/3. Oh my god, what were they thinking?
Or it should have cost more mana to begin with.
My favorite part about this card is actually when it attacks, you draw a card, because, and I've said this before, I think sometimes when people, like, it's when it attacks, not even when it does damage. Mm-hmm. It's just every time it attacks, and you're also gonna have indestructible because, like, duh, you have other merfolk. I'm 100% putting this in merfolk, hands down.
Oh yeah, if you didn't know, I would
so good.
Tell you you're wrong.
So good. That's the card Garrick said. Excuse me, about Fractured Sanity.
Oh, I mean, because I have the mill deck, and this says each opponent mills 14 cards, which would really mean each opponent mills 28 cards.
Dude, how much ice did you put in here?
That was so random.
Sorry, I just looked and there's, like, so much ice in there.
Yeah, nobody can see any of that.
Yeah, they can.
Sorry. But yeah, just each opponent mills 28 cards. When my commander's out for 3 blue mana in a mono blue deck, that just seems a lot. So go mill half your deck for it. What?
Oh, right. Your commander says double. I was like, where'd you get
counts.
28 from? 14 plus 14. Yep, math.
That's how math works.
Yep. This card's really good.
Yep.
I feel like sometimes merfolk mill cards can be... My head's with the other card. I feel like sometimes they can be, like, underwhelming. They're like, mill 2, but this is like, mill a bunch for 3 mana.
Yeah, the fact that this is only 3 mana is obscene.
They should have made it 4.
If not more than that.
Like
if it
five.
said, if that said one opponent mills 14 cards, 3 mana, maybe. But each opponent mills 14?
This is really stupid.
That's just a lot.
Yeah, this is so dumb. I don't even also know why they gave it cycling, because why would you do that to draw a card? Because I guarantee you when you
cycle it, each opponent mills 4.
I know, but when you... There's nothing that you can probably draw. Like, you would have to be desperate to cycle this.
Oh, absolutely.
If you need to draw a card, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Card is... I don't know how to say that. Do you want us to say that?
Ragavan, Nimble, Pilferer?
I don't know.
But it's a monkey pirate. Who cares? It's a monkey pirate. That's all I have to say. Also, makes treasure tokens. And maybe cast the top card of an opponent's library, which, probably not going to be any good, but hey, it's a 2-1 for 1.
I just really appreciate the flavor of this card a lot.
Yeah, and the art's great. It's a monkey pirate.
It reminds me a lot of the, who's the other pirate that has the monkey? She makes the monkey when she attacks.
Oh,
I don't remember her name. But
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
It reminds me of that. Maybe it's like right here in the little thesaurus. Yeah, Karizev.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Yeah, and she makes the legendary 2-1 monkey. I wonder if this is the monkey that she makes.
Wait.
It
is! That is cool. You need to get
both of them
on the field at the same time. There should be like a thing where if you put like this in the battlefield at the same time as that. Also, one thing I like about this card too is it is dash, and I think the dash mechanic is so cool. And yeah.
Yeah, that's actually, it's interesting.
It's cool. Like I like it. It's different. I think it's cool, and I feel like we haven't seen a lot of dash cards in a minute.
Yeah, and it's, comes in haste, flickers back effectively, so you can keep casting. It also only costs 1, or it costs 2 to dash, which is really not that much mana. And so it's like, I'm just going to get it in so it can't get removed, and, just...
It's cute.
Keep
and it
poking.
also gains haste, which is so cool. So, yeah, I like it. Also, like, it's not like the dash cost is egregious. Like, this is only 1 mana to cast, but the dash is 2. Like, that's not, like, ridiculous. You know what I mean? Cool. Okay, so remember how I said earlier that I was probably most excited about the white cards in the set, but I also mentioned that there might be another color that I'm excited for. You've heard it here first, folks. Red. And if you know me, I don't care about red as a color. It's like my least favorite color, but I'm excited about 2 red cards. Literally, I know. You're shocked. I know. You can't even contain yourself. Okay, so I'm really excited about the red cards in this set because I'm excited about Goblin Bombardment getting a reprint. I'm a little bummed that this card was upped in rarity because why? Like sometimes
it's really good.
Sometimes I look at cards and I'm like, why? Like you knocked down greed, but you upped this. Like, don't get me wrong, this card is good. It's an uncommon. Like, this card just is an uncommon. It's not a rare, but okay. Regardless, I'm excited to see this card being reprinted because I have this card in Omnath.
Yep.
And I actually don't own a foil. And so I'd really like to get this card because even if I don't get this specific art or this specific set in foil, it'd be cool to still get this in a different set because hopefully prices will be lowered somewhere else. And I can pick this card from foil.
One can help.
This card's great. The card is absolutely great. I love it. And the other card that I'm excited about getting a reprint is Imperial Recruiter.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm excited about this card being reprinted for myself is because I want to put this card in the what's the commander? Queen Marchesa-esque like royalty themed deck, which I've been like talking about for a very long time, but I think this would be really perfect to put in there, and I feel like there'd be some really cool cards that I can put that have power 2 or less that I could put in there, and I feel like there'd be some cool stuff to put.
I'm sure there's
like,
plenty.
Imposing Sovereign is one I'm thinking of immediately that has power 2 or less. Like, I feel like there'd be a handful of cards that I could reasonably put. So it's definitely like a maybe for me. Like, if we opened it, I think we'd be really excited to open this. Do you feel like you'd foresee this needing in any of your decks currently, or not so much?
For me, no. I don't have a lot of decks that have small creatures, unfortunately.
That's fair. Pukka's big. Go big or go home. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah. Cool. We're excited about Titania reprint.
Yeah, for my Horde deck because I don't have it, and it's an elemental, and it's a good one. I don't think that needs to say any more.
Do you find a lot of lands going to...
Well, I have a full set of fetches in that deck.
It's true, it's 10 cards right there.
And then I have the Prismatic Vista, So
I thought you were going to say Prismatic Shot.
No, Prismatic Vista.
Prismatic Vista.
So there's at least 11 fetches in that deck.
Okay.
So
you might have a Fabled Passage in that deck, too.
Or maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
No, you probably have Prismatic Vista. I don't know. You have one of those. Maybe you have both.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fetches in that deck.
Yeah.
And so it's absolutely worth being able to return lands from my graveyard to the battlefield so I can go get more fetches with a single fetch.
And then you get elementals.
Yeah.
Tokens. Cool. And the last card you are excited about, which I don't have any green cards, which is unusual to me that I want to talk about, but you have Sanctum Weaver, which is beautiful, by the way.
Oh, it's a pretty card, and it's, again, for something like Gods, where it's only one color, and with Morphon as the commander, the colors don't really matter, because it reduces the color cost of all of the Gods by one of each color. And so it lets me get more Gods out quicker for the X cost, and I just pick whichever color I have the most of, Yeah. It's not bad.
Absolutely.
It's like the, what's the gem that's this ability, but it's the devotion.
Nyx Lotus?
Yes, Nyx Lotus.
Nyx Lotus, yeah.
It's kind of like Nyx Lotus, but for enchantments instead of devotion.
I think this art is absolutely breathtaking. I love they look like Japanese cherry blossoms. I'm not sure if that's what they're supposed to be, but regardless, it's stunning.
Yeah, I think you're looking at the extended art too. Oh, it's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. It's just a little different. Yeah. Sorry, you can hear that thunder in the background. Well,
I think that's it.
That's everything for us for Modern Horizons 2. I haven't done a set overview in a while, and I think it's honestly because, actually, I think I meant to do one for what came out around Christmas time.
Was that
that wasn't Commander Legends, was it? Commander Legends was the year before.
No, was that the Viking set?
No, that was like January. There was something that came out. What was it? The Time Spiral. That stuff.
Time Spiral Remastered.
I thought about doing a video on that, and to be honest with you guys, I literally was going to talk about like 5 cards. Don't get me wrong, I was really hyped about those 5 cards, but I was like, I don't really think it makes sense to do a video talking about 5 things, which is kind of why I wanted to bring you into this video, because, I just like filming with you, and I also love you. But like, you add a lot to the conversation because you talk about cards that like I might not necessarily feature, and you're like, oh, let's also talk about. It sounds like I had ulterior motives for hiring you for this project. Hiring you. I don't pay you. I pay you in love. Gosh. Okay. Wow. So, it's cool to hear, like, your perspective and stuff as well. And I feel like you definitely talk about things that I'm like, I didn't even consider that. So,
definitely. Yeah.
So, I think that was everything. I haven't done one of these in a minute, and it was cool to like just overview the set and whatever. And I got to make my wish list and do because I'm very specific about like borders I want.
Are we gonna record us opening the box for this one?
Yes, we will definitely be doing that. Like I said, we ordered it online, and I want to say it ships.
Well, it ships the same
20th
week.
Something.
I think it ships next week.
Oh man, you know what, guys? So we're going on our honeymoon on like in June, July, like later, and so I don't know
if we'll record this in time.
Get a chance to record it in time. It depends on when we get the box. So if we don't get it, and it's a little bit late. I apologize, but because I know those videos, like people really like those videos, which I totally understand, and they like to see them like when they come out, So as soon as we get it, and if we're back from our honeymoon and we can do it, or if we're before our honeymoon, or regardless, we'll film it for you guys. So. That was everything.
Yep.
Any closing remarks on Modern Horizons 2? It's a pretty cool set.
Yeah, it'll be the first time opening up a set booster instead of a draft booster, which will be interesting to see how the pack turnout is.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I think that's everything I want to say. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
I thought you were talking to them, not me.
I appreciate you guys too. I appreciate you as well, Paul.
I would hope so.
I do very much. I'm kind of married to you, so yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck with me now.
You're stuck with me, so you are. Anyways, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. Give a like to this video if you enjoyed it. Please let me know what cards you guys are excited for. Let me know what you think, especially about that first card, that Soul Ring, like knockoff Soul Ring card. Soul Talisman. Let me know what you guys think about that card. Leave me a comment, any kind of comment about this set, how you guys are feeling. Thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.